The Netherlands, a country that borders the North Sea. It's one of the most bicycle-friendly places in the world. Almost all of its infrastructure isn't found anywhere else on Earth. And when you look at it from space, it's dense, one of the densest cities in Europe, with 522 persons per kilometer. When you look at it from the side, you can see it doesn't look like anything in North America. And if you zoom all the way in, you can see it's completely different at the street level. The average commute distance is 22 kilometers, or 34 minutes, and 50% of trips are taken by walking, biking, or taking transit. Completely different than North America. It looks like it could have been bicycle friendly for generations. But if you look backward through time, each year it gets more car-centric and more car-centric. And before the 1970s, it was not bicycle friendly at all. I wanted to try to answer one question. Can the Netherlands serve as an urban planning precedent for other cities? Or is it just too different? You don't have to look too deep. North American cities are facing some problems. North American thought leaders say that Netherlands city planning is just not feasible for North American cities because of commute distance, size, weather, and hills. So are they right? For the purposes of this video, I'm going to compare against Toronto primarily, but it has the same attributes as Chicago and Boston. Let's look into this. The average commute distance in Toronto is 12 kilometers. In Boston, it's 10, and in the Netherlands, it's actually 22. Let's look at size. A lot of people argue that the Netherlands only works because it's a small country and has a small population, and wouldn't work for a larger North American city, which has much more people. The Netherlands is definitely a small country, but it also has a lot of people. Just look at the population for the Netherlands' footprint for each of these cities. And this is because the Netherlands is on average more dense than North American cities. Its biggest city is Amsterdam, and it's comparable in population and size to Boston. Weather is probably the biggest reason people cite for why it's not a good precedent. Look at these TikToks from the Netherlands. Surprisingly, they actually do get snow. And look at this. Toronto's days of snow versus Amsterdam's days of snow. It's a lot closer than you might think. And what's more surprising is the amount of unpleasant rain days when you wouldn't want to bike, are substantially more. The last reason people cite is hills and elevation. The Netherlands is famously flat. That's definitely true. However, with e-bikes and scooters becoming more common, hills are becoming less of an obstacle. So here you see a country that excels in every aspect. Fantastic bike lanes, trains that operate as efficiently as metros, and urban design that is world-renowned. While there are differences between the Netherlands and North America, they're relatively minor. There is one crucial difference. Look at this decision from Penticton City Council in Canada.
Bike lanes have not been good for our community.
They've had enough of separated bike lanes.
I don't want to get into the merits of bike lanes, to be honest.
In this council session, they directed staff to halt all work on separated bicycle lanes for the duration of their term in power. In the Netherlands, there's a national commitment to sustainable urban design. But in North America, it's a different story. City planners often face fragmented decision-making between city, state, and federal levels, a strong car lobby influence, and NIMBY opposition to bike lanes and density.
It sounded like we were talking about bike lanes, but we weren't talking about bike lanes, but we're talking about bike lanes, and how we shouldn't be talking about bike lanes going forward for another few years.
So while Dutch-style urbanism could work wonders here, the path to getting there, that's where things get tricky. So it's not about just implementing Dutch-style urban design. It's about reimagining how we make decisions about our cities. If you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe, and you'll definitely like these next videos.